Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Sunny Galt. At UNN, you get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you're here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore Earth. In the U.S., it is Friday, January 26, 2024. It's known as Great Zimbabwe, a medieval city thought to have been the capital of a kingdom in the late Iron Age. Just look at the meticulous design of these incredible stone ruins. And in Australia, we breathe in the beautiful views at Byron Bay in New South Wales, a mecca of sun, sand, and serenity. In the new Earth, we're learning more about frequency and some of the common misconceptions about its form and function. And this little guy is really hamming it up in South Africa. This little artist loves paintbrushes and creating masterpieces. And her name is Pigcasso.
This is Calen Gipp, messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's field messenger reports from all around the world. Today we take a journey back in time, visiting the ancient stone city known as Great Zimbabwe. UNN field messenger Owen takes us to explore the ruins.
Hi, this is Owen reporting for United Network News from just outside Masvingo in Zimbabwe at the ancient stone city of Great Zimbabwe. So let's go and have a look around.
Great Zimbabwe is thought to have been the capital of the Monomotapa Kingdom during the late Iron Age and is the largest ancient structure in sub-Saharan Africa. The ruins form three distinct architectural groups. They are known as the Hill Complex, the Valley Complex and the Great Enclosure. It is believed that the Hill Complex was primarily used as an area for rituals, perhaps related to rainmaking. It sits on a steep-sided hill that rises 80 meters above the ground and is protected by narrow walled pathways and low doorway entrances with panoramic views from the summit. The Valley Complex was for the citizens and the Great Enclosure was used by the king. It is part of a wealthy African trading empire that controlled much of the East African coast from the 11th to the 15th centuries. The city was built by members of the Gokumeri culture, who were the ancestors of the modern Shona people in Zimbabwe. The word Zimbabwe is derived from the Shona translation, House of Stone. The stone city spans an area of 7 square kilometers and could have housed up to 18,000 people at its peak. The ruins of the Great Enclosure are perhaps the most exciting. The walls are over 9 meters high in places and 5 meters wide, and the enclosure's circumference is 250 meters. The walls were built without mortar, relying on carefully shaped rocks to hold the wall's shape on their own. Inside the enclosure is a second set of walls, following the same curve as the outside walls, which end in a conical tower 10 meters high. So, if ever in Zimbabwe, be sure to visit this ancient stone city. Thank you for watching.
Next, we visit the stunning area of Byron Bay, the most easterly point of mainland Australia. UNN field messenger Joe delights us with the natural beauty of this place.
Hi, this is Joe, field messenger for United Network News, coming to you from the Northern Rivers. Today I'm taking you for a walk to the most easterly point of mainland Australia in Byron Bay. Our First Nations people here call this area First Light, as the sun first kisses the mainland of Australia and spreads its golden light over the rivers across the land. The lighthouse walk takes a little over an hour as it meanders in and out of some local bush and forest, and then showcases the beautiful coastline of beaches which are common to Australia. Sadly, it was once a whaling station, but thankfully today it is a marine park where you can see the migration of whales from May to October, or pods of dolphins sharing the waves with the local surfers. Only a short drive from here, you will find hinterland with rivers, swimming holes, waterfalls, and hundreds of beautiful walking trails through the rainforest. Byron was for thousands of years a meeting point for tribes, and today it is a well-known destination not just for its abundant natural beauty and subtropical climate. Even though the population is approximately 30,000, in 2018, Byron Shire had over 2 million visitors from around the world. Many new dreams, new businesses, creations are birthed in this area. It is an entrepreneur's delight. It certainly holds powerful energy in the land here. This is Jo. Thank you for joining me today for United Network News.
We want you to become a UNN field messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special training or equipment. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. For ideas and inspiration, we encourage you to join our new Field Messenger group on Telegram. Our new website is now up and running at unitednetwork.earth. You can submit your Field Messenger reports directly through the Field Messenger tab at the top of the page. You can also email your reports to our new email address at fieldmessenger@unitednetwork.earth.
Hello, I'm Susan from Sweden.
Mwanda Maipo from Eastern Uganda, Africa.
Hi, I'm Tim from Vancouver, Canada.
I'm Titeshwar Thongao from Manipur State, India. I'm Gumba Obasi from Southeast Nigeria.
Arnaito Chakrini from Western Uganda, Mbarara.
At United Network News, you are the news.
My name's Christina, Field Messenger, report first one in the hurricane down here in Southern California from Mexico.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. At UNN, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Jason from United Network News. We're going to be doing some aircrete building with new technologies that allow us to live in comfort and also off the grid.
Take the next step in changing the way the world gets the news. Become a UNN field messenger today.
I am Michelle from South Africa, and we are the United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
If it is going to be, then it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Si va a ser así, depende. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN.
Frequency is a pretty big buzzword when discovering the truth about our world and our reality, and rightfully so, because everything has a frequency. But there are also some misunderstandings about frequency and how it works. Jai Hain is a quantum osteopath and frequency specialist based out of the Netherlands. He also runs the School of Frequency and works within the quantum field to help humanity restore balance and well-being. All right, Jai, so our audience is familiar with the term frequency. We're hearing that a lot, and we'll probably hear it more and more in the near future. But some of the stuff that we're hearing with frequency isn't necessarily true. So I want to break down some misconceptions or perhaps misunderstandings when it comes to frequency and what it is and what it does.
Yeah, well, one of the big misunderstandings is around positivity. And I mean, I know why people say it, but if you are all the time positive, you want to stay positive, be positive, think positive, in the eyes of frequency, you are dying. There's decay because we're actually negatively charged beings. So we shouldn't be positive all the time. It would be exhausting, too overstimulating, stressing you out. And actually, when something has a negative effect of you, it can also ground you in, and it can have a sobering effect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like almost like if you go to a party or something like that, you're planning something big and you're hyping up for it and you got a smile on your face constantly. And then when it's done, you breathe a sigh of relief and you're like, oh my goodness, thank God that's done. Because you can't maintain that for long periods of time. It's more about having peace and being content, but it's not over exaggerated. That's what wears us out.
So the correct words would be coherence and the resonance. Right? When your intuition works through resonance, when something resonates, your intuition takes you there. When you feel peaceful, when you feel happy and undisturbed, there is coherence and that positivity that we need.
And then that's effortless.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
that's the flow.
Perfect.
Then the second thing is raise your frequency. That's a hype since years already, where you as long as you elevate your frequency, you bring it higher, the higher frequency the better. It's low, because in the eyes of frequency, if you a high frequency in your body means the difference between alkaline and acid. We need the low and the high frequencies, and it doesn't work if you elevate it, because frequencies don't really change in your body. It's more like your experience of it. And that is where, again, back to the coherence, back to the resonance, not the high, because the high is it's another positivity spectrum, and we can let it go. We can also connect it to what people are saying. The planetary frequency, or the Schumann resonance, is rising. This is also a myth. It is not necessarily true, because it is a cascade of frequencies, the Schumann resonance. And you have, for instance, 7.8 hertz, you have 13.2 hertz, and then you have another frequency. It depends on where you tap in, on how you measure the frequency, but it's fluctuating just differently these days. So it's not rising, it's just fluctuating a little bit. And it also depends on, is it winter, is it summer, is it like that? But it's not true that the planetary frequency is rising necessarily.
Okay, so when we say we need to bring up everybody's frequency, or we're trying to raise the frequency, that's not necessarily true. What should we be aiming for then? Because we obviously want more people to be aware, to be more conscious, to understand these kind of concepts and work more towards the good than the bad. So how do we refocus then? What should we be doing?
So to keep frequency very practical, let's focus on the biology, right? Mm-hmm. If everything is frequency, everything means it's an information field, and information field science is going to pick up. So that means that vitamin C is an information field. You can take it in a frequency and it will work the same like the pill you normally take.
Right.
Okay? The second thing is cellular voltage. The reason why you have healthy cells is because their membrane is electrically charged, and that voltage needs to be maintained, and it's the number one thing that you see decreasing if you're getting sick or you're dying. It is negatively charged. And I think, I just focus on the perspective because I don't know the full truth of what people, or what really happens when people become more aware, become more conscious, right? Become more loving and more connected.
Right.
These are all goals, but I wouldn't say, oh, that means a high frequency.
Okay.
I don't believe that is necessary to say, but let's view ourselves not as a Homo sapien, but as a Homo quantum. We are quantum beings. The whole foundation of all this whole physical reality is because atoms exist, and there's even a layer deeper than the atoms. And this is all conscious. It's a conscious unified field, and you can only see frequencies and some vibrations and oscillations. And when you start to feel yourself on that level, that is where frequency takes over your life, I believe.
In a positive way. Or maybe not too positive. Positive and negative.
We're in.
Laughter, which also has a frequency, is often considered a universal language, and it plays a significant role in human interaction and well-being. It's more than just an expression of joy or amusement. Laughter serves as a social bonding tool, a stress reliever, and even has potential health benefits. Why we laugh has intrigued scientists for years. Researchers have uncovered some of the reasons behind our chuckles. Laughter, it seems, is a complex, multifaceted phenomenon. Contrary to popular belief, our giggles aren't solely triggered by something funny. There are 4 primary reasons behind our laughter: social connection, masking emotions, uncontrollable bodily responses, and humor. Studies point to social connection as a significant factor. When it comes to laughter, the community aspect appears to be crucial. People are 30 times more likely to laugh in the company of others than when alone, giving rise to that theory that it is indeed contagious. Laughter is also a way we manage difficult emotions such as anger, anxiety, or fear. This type of nervous laughter is a masking technique used consciously or unconsciously. Bodily responses, particularly tickling, are another source of laughter. 4 separate parts of the brain are involved in producing involuntary laughter in response to tickling. Many factors contribute to the fascinating web of laughter. Interestingly, the ability to laugh doesn't require prior observation or hearing. Even blind and deaf babies do it. While science is still unraveling the mystery of why we laugh, we can all revel in the joy that laughter brings us. An 8-year-old 1,000-pound pig called Pigcasso has been making remarkable waves in the art scene, all while bringing smiles to people's faces. Rescued from an industrial hog farm in 2016, Pigcasso now resides at a farm sanctuary near Cape Town, South Africa, where she indulges her unexpected talent for painting. Her owner and sanctuary founder discovered her affinity for painting when Pigcasso showed a particular interest in paintbrushes among her playthings. Just look at her go. Creating abstract expressionist art with a custom-made brush and non-toxic paint, Pigcasso's works are sold worldwide, bringing thousands of dollars each. She signs her completed pieces using a mixture of beetroot and acrylic ink with her snout and enjoys caramel popcorn in her downtime. Me too. Not only has her art raised approximately $145,000 for the sanctuary, but she also became the first animal to open her own exhibition, known as Oink, in Cape Town. The sanctuary's primary mission is to inspire compassion for farm animals and educate the public on the harmful effects of conventional factory farming practices on animals, health, and the environment. The funds raised from Pigcasso's artwork help further their cause by enabling them to rescue more farm animals. Pigcasso has collaborated in the past with watchmaker Swatch, using her brush strokes to celebrate the Chinese Year of the Pig. The limited edition watches contributed all proceeds to the sanctuary. Her journey from a slaughterhouse to a celebrated animal artist has brought her world renown and contributed significantly to a noble cause. From her pigsty studio, she continues to paint, inspire, and contribute to a compassionate world, one stroke at a time. Buskers, or street performers, have been part of the cultural landscape for centuries. They entertain with their unique musical talents or comedic or circus skills, often relying on the generosity of local people for their livelihood. Participants from all over the world come to Italy to the Ferrara Buskers Festival, the largest international event dedicated to street performers. They share their art and music, celebrating their different cultures. The current artistic director created the event in 1987 after 2 musicians were arrested for performing in a public area. The local mayor backed his idea to create a safe space for buskers to meet and exhibit their talents, on the streets of Ferrara. Meanwhile, in Australia, 26 acts met for the grand finale of the Australian National Busking Championships. The event, in its 12th year, hopes to inspire the next generation of artists and embrace multicultural performing arts. Although busking can be a challenge, it's appreciated for being inclusive and open to anyone. The music is in the person in real time without an expensive concert ticket or trip to a distant stadium. While there are countless talented buskers around the world, a few have risen to international fame like Ed Sheeran, Rod Stewart, and B.B. King. Fans of music, dance, or performance art can be entertained by buskers on a local street or at a dedicated festival for the price of a coffee or less. Want to share news from UNN with friends and family? Memes are a great way to get that conversation going, and here is today's UNN meme of the day. It says, "You deserve ultimate love in your life." This incredible love is revealed to us through our Creator. Everything around us, including nature, animals, even our own bodies, are uniquely designed by the Creator out of love. And it's a great example of how all organic beings can live peacefully and in perfect harmony with one another. To see more memes just like this one, you can follow the Meme Team Telegram channel at UNN Memes. Share them on Telegram and any other social media channels where you still have an account. Welcome to United Network News. I'm Sunny Galt.
Connect with United Network News online. The news portion of our website at unitednetwork.earth recaps the biggest stories impacting our planet. You can also watch inspiring videos from our field messengers and get great tips for creating your own field messenger reports. Easily share all of this content with your friends in just a few clicks, including our social media memes designed to ignite conversation and critical thinking. It's time to restore our home. Let's make history together at unitednetwork.earth.
Now, a look at regional stories around the world. China continues to grapple with its crippling economy. Many investors are choosing to move their money to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. The country is also increasing its bank loans available for property developers. Sri Lanka's parliament is debating a new internet safety bill. Does the bill protect the people, or does it simply limit free speech? Changes could be coming to the Royal Mail in the UK, including reducing delivery days or extending the time it takes to deliver the mail. And large media corporations in the US announced major layoffs, prompting some employees to walk off their jobs in protest. China is taking steps to ease the ongoing real estate crisis, which is impacting homeowners, potential buyers, and businesses tied to the industry. The new rules aim to make more bank loans available for property developers struggling with debt. These funds can help developers manage their loans and operational costs, but they cannot be used for purchasing new properties, starting new projects, or buying land. Sales of the new homes and real estate prices have seen a decline, which is causing consumers to cut back on spending as much of their wealth is tied to property. The overall effect of the economy is significant, as the property sector represents about a quarter of business activity in China. Experts suggest more policy actions may be required to stabilize the situation and benefit the average citizen. Chinese investors are increasingly turning to cryptocurrencies as a safer investment option than the nation's faltering securities and real estate markets. Despite a mainland ban on cryptocurrencies and strict capital flow regulations, these investors are finding ways to trade digital assets through platforms like OKX and Binance, or by opening overseas bank accounts. An estimated $86.4 billion worth of crypto transactions were recorded in China between July 2022 and June 2023. A significant number of Chinese citizens are also using their annual 50,000 foreign exchange purchase quotas to invest in cryptocurrencies. Traditional financial institutions in China seeking growth opportunities are also exploring digital asset businesses in Hong Kong. Cryptocurrency trading stores have emerged in Hong Kong, allowing customers to buy digital assets without providing any identity documents. Some believe Hong Kong may serve as a testing ground for the Chinese government becoming more accepting of cryptocurrencies. Nepal has demanded Russia cease recruiting Nepali nationals for military service in Ukraine and return those currently serving. More than 200 Nepali individuals are estimated to have been hired, with at least 14 confirmed deaths. Nepal is seeking compensation for the deceased families and the repatriation of their bodies, respecting Nepali tradition of cremation. In addition, 5 Nepali individuals are reportedly held by Ukraine, and Nepal has requested their release. The Nepalese government has imposed travel bans to Russia and Ukraine for employment to stop further recruitment. The call comes amid ongoing concerns surrounding the exploitation of Nepalese workers who often travel abroad for better job opportunities. Several Bangladeshi women have reported the disappearance of their children back in the late 1970s, alleging the involvement of an international charity in the incident. All the women report being approached by individuals claiming to represent the charity. They also recall being pressured into sending their children to local children's centers with promises of education and safety. However, the children vanished without a trace, leading to years of heartache with unsuccessful search efforts. After their children disappeared, the women were denied access and their pleas for help were largely ignored. The charity has responded to these allegations, expressing sympathy for the women, but denying any involvement in running any facility where these children might have been taken. Thousands of Indian construction workers and laborers are seizing an opportunity to work in Israel, despite the ongoing Israeli-Hamas war. The recruitment drive, overseen by an Israeli team, is expected to fill more than 5,000 positions. The prospect of earning a significantly higher wage, up to $1,600 per month, compared to a maximum of $420 in India, is a strong driving factor. There are reports that Israel is currently facing a labor shortage due to the barring of Palestinian workers, providing India with a chance to fill the gap. Despite India's economic success, securing regular wage jobs has become increasingly challenging, particularly for the youth and educated population, with high unemployment rates, which stands at 42% for graduates under 25. India and Israel's agreement permitting 40,000 Indians to work in construction and nursing in Israel seems to serve as a solution for some. In Jerusalem's historic Old City, local businesses and residents are profoundly affected by the conflict in Gaza. This area, renowned for its sites sacred to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, have transformed into a deserted landscape. Increased security checks by Israeli authorities and the fear of unrest have contributed to this desolation. A drop in tourist activity has been severe, with visits to the nation's major airport falling by more than 70% in the recent months. The situation has particularly impacted Jerusalem, with the Old City seeing a jump in closed businesses and a reduction in the usually vibrant religious and social activities. In Bethlehem, the West Bank's biblical town, the tourism sector has experienced one of its worst Christmases on record. In Belarus, the reach of independent media and public dialogue is being suppressed by the algorithms of tech giants like Google, according to digital rights organizations. The algorithm, initially designed to prevent sites with illegal content from appearing in search results, is reportedly being misused by authoritarian regimes to bury criticism of the government. With tech companies like Google unwilling to modify their algorithms, independent media face unprecedented challenges. Sanctions against Russia and the subsequent shutdown of tech companies have further isolated Russian society and bolstered state propaganda. Google's reluctance to restore payment options for users or monetize Russian channels further aggravates the struggle of independent media and bloggers. Experts say tech companies should recognize this problem, take responsibility, and act to support the free press and democratic values. Sri Lanka's parliament is currently debating an internet safety bill, which critics fear could undermine freedom of speech and human rights. Introduced by the public security minister, the bill aims to tackle online offenses, including fraud, abuse, and false statements that threaten national security. The bill proposes an online safety commission with the power to direct users and service providers to block access to accounts and remove content. However, opposition parties, journalists, and rights groups argue that the bill's provisions could be used to restrict free speech on vague grounds, and it could create an oppressive environment and dismantle democracy. The country's economic crisis has heightened public dissatisfaction with rising costs and heavy new taxes on professionals and businesses. Critics accuse the government of trying to suppress public expression to secure victory in upcoming elections. Off-duty police officers held a peaceful protest in Lisbon, demanding fair treatment in terms of hazard pay. The protest, led by the Public Security Police and the National Republican Guard, comes in response to the outgoing government's decision to increase hazard pay for the criminal investigation police while leaving their wages untouched. The demonstrators argue that their roles are comparable to those of the criminal investigation police, and therefore they should receive the same hazard pay. The disparity in hazard pay is significant, and the wage rise, retroactive to January 2023, can amount to nearly €700 or $760 per month. The Interior Wage says that wage decisions would be the responsibility of the new government following the March 10th election. The European Central Bank is asking banks to monitor social media closely due to concerns of potential financial instability caused by panic. This move follows last year's incident where a social media post prompted a massive withdrawal of deposits from Credit Suisse. Banks are now forming dedicated teams to track shifts in online sentiment that could affect financial operations. The European Central Bank is also intensifying its scrutiny of banks' liquidity reporting and considering revisions to the liquidity coverage ratio, a key risk measure for banks. Meanwhile, financial authorities are studying the impact of social media on deposit dynamics and liquidity rules. They aim to ensure that banks can withstand sudden shocks to their liquidity due to fast, large-scale withdrawals. The Royal Mail, Britain's primary postal service, is facing significant challenges and a potential overhaul. The service is struggling with reduced letter volumes and increased parcel deliveries, which has resulted in deteriorating performance and delays in deliveries. This has significantly affected people, particularly in receiving important letters such as medical appointments and legal documents on time. The regulator, Ofcom, has proposed reforms that could include less frequent deliveries for extending the delivery times for most letters, but the government insists on maintaining the 6-day service. The potential reforms could directly affect the Royal Mail's obligations, the cost for users, and the consistency of the service, leading to concerns whether the universal service obligation of Royal Mail will continue to meet the consumer's needs. The Communication Workers Union warns of the impact of such changes on jobs, while others highlight the need for consumer-focused solutions. In the U.S., 36% of people have accumulated more credit card debt than emergency savings, the highest recorded in 12 years. That's according to a new survey report. Inflation is a major roadblock to savings, according to 63% of respondents. As interest rates climb, 45% of participants have reduced their savings contributions. Despite escalating credit card rates, 21% of Americans would rely on credit cards for emergency expenses of $1,000 or more, potentially risking their financial goals. 22% reported having no emergency savings at all, while 66% fear they could not cover living costs for a month if they suddenly lost their income. The report relies on data from a national survey conducted in December of 2023, alongside several other polls from last year. The Los Angeles Times announced it will lay off 115 employees, marking one of the largest staff cuts in its 143-year history. Among the affected are senior editors, photographers, and members of the video unit. The move, which cuts more than 20% of the newsroom, is a response to the newspaper's reported losses of up to $40 million a year. The LA Times Guild had previously staged a walkout to protest the layoffs, but the cuts were still implemented. This recent round of layoffs at the LA Times adds to the previous cut of 70 positions last June. The union pointed to a lack of clear leadership and strategy as underlying issues, emphasizing the need for better stewardship. These layoffs are the latest in a series of industry cutbacks that have seen thousands lose their jobs. Journalists from famous outlets like the Daily News and Forbes are going on strike, pushing back against excessive job cuts and deteriorating work conditions. They argue these changes, driven by profit-seeking entities like the Alden Global Capital, are crippling their ability to serve the public. Employees from the Daily News, once a prominent voice in American journalism, are staging their first walkout since 1991 due to a sharp decline in staff and constant salary cuts, reducing their ability to cover the city. Forbes staff have initiated a 3-day strike, highlighting stalled bargaining talks. These actions reflect a growing unrest amongst journalists nationwide who warn that the relentless cuts are not only harming them, but are also leaving important stories untold, ultimately hurting the public they serve. Canada Post's recent decision to sell its in-house IT business, InnovaPost, and its logistics company have raised concerns about the future of the corporation. As part of this restructuring, Canada Post aims to enhance its efficiency and adapt to the rapidly growing e-commerce market. Despite these efforts, the company reported a loss of $290 million in the third quarter of 2023. Critics argue Canada Post's success relies on its ability to partner with major e-commerce companies to compete in the last-mile delivery, a strategy employed by the U.S. Postal Service. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers proposes expanding services for greater financial sustainability, such as increased postal banking and check-in services for seniors. However, experts question Canada Post's ability to break into the crowded e-commerce field while also fulfilling its responsibilities as a crown corporation. Healthcare giant Calen has initiated a voluntary recall of Robitussin cough syrups across the U.S. due to microbial contamination. The recall affects 8 batches of Robitussin Honey CF Max Day Adult and Robitussin Honey CF Max Nighttime Adult, with expiration dates ranging from October 2025 to June 2026. While no adverse events have been reported, using these products can pose a risk to immunocompromised individuals, potentially leading to severe or life-threatening conditions such as disseminated fungal infections. Symptoms could range from chronic fatigue to severe confusion and even meningitis. For healthier individuals, serious infections are less likely, but not impossible. All recalled products should be returned, and customers are advised to contact Calen's consumer relations team for further assistance. The recall has been initiated in collaboration with the Food and Drug Administration. Want the latest updates from UNN? Be sure to follow our channel on Telegram called United Network News Channel. This is our official Telegram channel, and it's where you'll find direct links to our newscasts and our in-depth field messenger reports. And be sure to check out CARE's new Health and Wellness Department. You can connect with the Center for Health and Wellness of Earth, or CHWE community, by joining their Telegram channel. Search for Center for Health Wellness of Earth. And now, the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. The secret space program operatives have announced, "We are the 9. Who are they? And what is their end game? Exciting updates about the United Network Worldwide Marketplace, social media, and what's new at UNN. Now, here's Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian. Hello, Kim. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. Not too bad for a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Let's talk about the World Situation Report, I guess you would say, section of it, what's going on in the world. And let's talk about, or what's not going on in the world as well. And then we'll get into some fun stuff. So it's, we'll make it Fun Day Friday. How's that? Friday Fun Day?
I like it.
All right. So the Secret Space Program, they have decided to consolidate. There's about 9 groups left. Mm-hmm. And I've always told you that the Secret Space Program operatives are the ones that are behind the this particular movement in these graphics we're going to show you now. Got to be careful when you talk about those people.
Yeah.
So they started reporting different themes, I guess you would say, over the last few days on this particular, you can see the web address there. And they're talking about We Are the 9. So that is who We Are the 9 is. They appeared here to be quite ominous. There are other threats overnight as well, such as the world is now compromised. Okay, well, good to know. We're not seeing anything, but good to know. And then we went from the world being compromised to, oh, Pandora's box has been opened. How exciting. I know. And, oh, we're going to do a quantum jump you'll never forget. You know, there you go.
Really hyping stuff up, aren't they?
It's yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very exciting. And, yep, all these coded messages, different dates. Those coordinates led you to some place in Japan. It's actually, I think it was the Mozu tombs is where it led you to in Japan.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe this is, I'm getting the idea that the reason why they're posting this stuff in rapid succession has to do with the fact they have to tell you what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And they don't have time because they're making up a story as they go along. So they don't really have too much time to, like, you know, make a movie about it like they would normally do, or a series or something like that.
True, yeah.
Change narratives in their news and those types of things. So I guess they've resorted to this. This is your notification here of what they're about to do to you. Now, an interesting twist and turn happened since Wednesday's report. So I know that Wednesday's report was a little bit confusing for a lot of people, but it wasn't confusing for the Secret Space Program. They got it. Now, they understood who was controlling the realms, and, you know, that we have angels and archangels, and then lower astral races and upper astral races and those types of things. And they decided they would like to be those people. That's why there's 9. We're going to control all 9 lower realms and all 9 upper realms, and this is what they've been going for in the last 24 hours. And I'm just looking at these people like, are you kidding me right now? So by opening Pandora's box, they think that they found something in computers. It was a minor little attachment. It wasn't anything big. And they've really been going for it. They have also promised every operative in the world that they would be paid by noon Eastern Standard Time today. Mm-hmm. They also told governments that they're in charge now.
Of course.
We are the 9. We're the people you've been waiting for.
I didn't know who you were waiting for.
Yeah, those are not my people.
No.
Yeah. But they want to be your people. You know, over the course of the last few years, let's talk about their leadership. Over the course of the last few years, they have tried about 14 to 15 different apocalypses. This is all coming from the secret space program, 15 militaries. So none of those actually worked out. They are responsible for the earthquake that happened in Turkey not that long ago, the major earthquake. It was a few months back. Yeah. They are responsible for the recent, I think it was a volcanic eruption in Japan. They are responsible for the Iceland volcano eruption. They've been responsible for basically most major events on the planet as it relates to killing us all.
Is Hawaii part of that, Kim? The fires in Hawaii, was that?
Yes, that was Arasaka. Mm-hmm. That was the Japanese sector of the SSP. Okay. Although, I say it originated there, but it's, you have plenty of Americans in there and other people. Right. So that's kind of who they are and what they do. So pretty much anything you could say that was wrong with this planet has come from them actually for about 5,000 years beyond, I should say, the others and the rulers, as we described, and the kings of the realms or the owners of the realms. And beyond that, on an operative level, these are your guys. These are your people. These are the people that are pushing Israel to do what it's doing. At the same time, they're pushing Gaza to do what Gaza's doing. Same thing with Iran and Iraq, in all these different places. And they really would like and fully believe they're qualified to run the planet. I don't know where they're running us into, except for maybe the toilet. Yeah. But because it doesn't look like there's any. From my standpoint, here's what I see. I see a group of people that have run operations on behalf of other, let's just say, humans and non-humans for a long time. Mm-hmm. That's what I see. Mm-hmm. And it's the only thing they know. They don't know anything about financial systems whatsoever and how they work and how to fix it or even to control it. They don't know anything. They were so compartmentalized in what they did and what their specific specialties were. For example, Taifang, which is out of China, predominantly out of China, is the group that is over the Wuhan situation. They're also the group that was over what we saw 3 years ago happening all around the world and the disbursement of that. They are also the group that is heavily participating in, and I said it last time and we got a little, no, don't do that on this channel. So the new X thing, the new X thing. And they are, they're very prominent in that field. That is their specialty. It's all about management and disbursement of disease. So that's their job. So I'm not really seeing so you got to take a step back and you got to look at your enemy for a minute. Mm-hmm. As we find them, they have purposely dispersed into hundreds of locations around the world. When I say there's 9 groups. And the people that remaining that will still listen to them. So they dispersed into hundreds of places around the world because they know we are after them. Right. So today we found several in New Orleans. We found several under Norfolk. And we're going to continue to hunt them down. So don't think we're not, But as far as strategizing, against your enemy, you have to first understand your enemy. So we're watching this at play here, especially the last few days, very heavily. As you may or may not know, there was a full moon yesterday, so that's when the get-in is good in their mind. Mm-hmm. But let's just say they actually achieved their objective and managed to open a gateway to what they call hell. Let's just say they achieved their objective. Let's just say the Omega system was still running. What I see is a group of people that in the last 48 hours have tried to install Trump bucks again, tried to do another digital currency again, tried to do – now – again, I will repeat myself, a digital currency for all of planet Earth would be highly unlikely at this stage in the game for all of humanity. You don't even have electricity in a large portion of the world, let alone point of sale systems, or I don't know if you've seen it, they now have Palm Pay, Palm as in the palm of your hand pay. Yeah. And a few other things that I think it's Whole Foods is testing out, and some of the other Cabal-owned stores, which leads me to why we've been working so hard over here. So, number one, no electricity. Number two, internet and Wi-Fi. We ran into these challenges, and those are real numbers when we were looking at, launching life assurance and what it was going to take to get to all these people. They don't even understand that there's no infrastructure for that. ID 2020, digital currencies for all humans, social crediting programs. There's no way, even if you installed your digital currency, that you could pull this off.
Do you think, Kim, that maybe they just don't care about the countries that don't have access to this? Are they mainly after like the larger, more Western countries? Is that just their focus, perhaps?
Well, when you listen to them talk, they seem to be going for full world domination here.
Yeah, that's what they say.
It doesn't really appear to be a limited basis.
Yeah.
Some of them are really, although I will say some of them are very much, if you're not white, you're not right. If you don't have blonde hair, blue eyes, you don't qualify, that kind of thing. Some of the groups are kind of more geared towards that. So they could probably consider all the other races disposable in their mind anyway.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
And what? They are trying to depopulate the planet, so why not start with the ones that they particularly do not favor first? And maybe it's a genocide situation. There was another attempt, I know this. It was with a facility, I believe it was in Minnesota yesterday, where we did find a smaller version, I would say, of what we found in China the other day. So they are definitely looking for diseases. Alien technology, ways of implementing disease in people. Yeah. That's for sure. That's on their list. But so if we weren't even here, let's just say we weren't here and we weren't watching, I still don't see where they're going. I mean, yes, people would have gotten hurt and that kind of thing, but I don't understand how the entire mission, on their side is to dominate the world. And like I laid out to you when just launching one particular project. And now I didn't discuss all of CARE on Wednesday, to be very clear, because people were asking me about what about financial freedom? Why just medical freedom? I know. Trust me, I know. There is a plan laid out for every section of CARE. Every single section of CARE. I just outlined in a very short broadcast one small sector. It has taken years of work to put together an entire structure for every industry on the planet. I remind you, there are hundreds of thousands of systems on this planet for how we live in our society, and pretty much every single one of them needs to change. So it's a lot of work on our part. But these people here don't understand that. Like, they don't go from, okay, I'm Dr. Evil and I would like to achieve world domination. And I am going to do this by hacking at some computer systems. We will, the people that we can't dominate, we probably would like to die slowly of some exotic alien disease. Okay, I see that. I'm seeing where you're going with this. The other guy there would like nothing but white people left on this planet. Okay, nice point of view. Probably not achievable since, in the grand scheme of the entire world, anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't have all the statistics, so I'm not even going to say anything. But I would say there's probably there's 5 basic root races on this planet. And given the fact that of the 8 some odd billion people in this world, some odd 1.3 billion of them are Chinese alone, nationality. So that would be yellow in accordance with the 5 root races. I don't really see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not so much so. But I'm not really getting any kind of clear-cut plan other than they just keep promising governments money and failing consistently. So I can see that as a carrot, a dangling carrot for every government. And as I have said in the past, just like the Rothschild family did with the dinar revaluation, as they called it, and I'm going to say a bad word here, guys, but I have to quote them exactly, carrots for jackasses. These people seem to be doing the same thing with governments. So let's just say the funding came to them, to these groups. Okay, so I'm still looking at them like Dr. Evil here. If the funding actually came to those groups and they managed to fund the governments, then where are you going? Where are you going from there? Let's just say $1 bazillion went out to all the governments, and now that you're expecting them to all take orders from you. Well, I can tell you, secret space program operatives, that is a flawed model. And you know how I know that? Because I have sent $1 bazillion to governments. I have funded the budget of the United States 2 or 3 times. Nobody still listened to me. I have funded, I sent over $1.4 trillion over to China to pay off U.S. debt. Nobody listened to me. We wrote off $196 trillion worth of debt of the Treasury to the Federal Reserve, and nobody listened to me. So now you think they're going to listen to you? It's a flawed model, I got to tell you. Because what would have happened to you, just so you know, secret space program operatives, is then the Rothschild family and the Khazarian mafia, Ital and the Chinese elders and whatever, would have claimed that you were working for them, which you are, monarch military, that you are working for them the whole time, and that they're going to tell the governments now how to control or how to work from there. That's what they were going to do. They were going to basically say, okay, business as usual, political sector, you're still ours, on our side. Remember the chart from Wednesday. You're still ours on our side, and the financial sector is still ours. We're still going to control all the banks, and we're still going to control all the governments, and out we are the 9 people go, because nobody's going to pay any attention to you. Well, from my personal experience, I think everything that they're doing right now has no hope. Even if we just sat back and, watched movies all day and ate popcorn, it was still never going to go anywhere, because that's how this world works. You think that they're listening to you, because the reason why they're actually listening to you is because you are currently the carrot dangler. And they're always sitting back in the background waiting to take back control, and they'll just use you like they used me. And I know that they're going to think in their mind, and their egos are big enough to say that they're special. They are the special ones, whether it's even some of the Orsini families or the Aldobrandini families or those people. They also believe that they are special. Nobody is special here. So, you got to, obviously we're not going to let the things that they're talking about continue to happen or to come to fruition to harm people to the best of our ability, because that's part of our job. That's GIA's job. That's my job. Now, to a further effect, governments. Let's talk about governments here for a minute. Give you a little update there. The archivists have been busy. They have been going around talking to various controllers of governments in various locations. And they feel, beyond a shadow of a doubt at this point, with pretty much, this is their opinion, so everybody's entitled to an opinion, with 100% certainty the governments will never work with us. They will never change. Now, whether it's they use the secret space program operatives, because if I was Dr. Evil and I were the Khazarian Mafia, which I am not, I'm on the opposite side here of all these people, and I would absolutely with a certainty say that they would take political control if the SSP funded the governments. Yep, 100%. So because they're ripe for it. They have no control. They have no control over the financial system. They have no control over anything. They don't even have a communications network anymore with which to communicate with all of the governments worldwide. Yeah, in case you're watching this, we do know that was in Mount Everest. Yes, we do. And you know how I know that, don't you? Okay, so, but the point is there is no way for them to get around that. Those are the faces and the names that they know. It will continue to be the same faces and the names that they know. Once money comes, it doesn't make a difference. You think if you control the pocketbook of these people, that the other people are just going to go away, and that's not going to be the case. So pretty much at this from this point in the game, unless there are certain agencies within governments that have become what you call a free agent at this moment in time, based on that big chart I drew for you. And what does that mean? Okay. So a collateral pool isn't just you, the average everyday citizens of the country. Now, you might be in the collateral pool, for example, the United States. But you may also be, if you are an enlisted military soldier or general or colonel or whoever you are also in a second collateral pool. Now, above that, that is the collateral pool there is for example, the U.S. military, and each branch has it. Then they're collectively pulled together as the U.S. military. Then all militaries worldwide then go into another collateral pool for another leveraging against or hedging against, and then they go up to places like, in some cases, NATO, which is not the case anymore. Then they would go up to the Order of the Black Sun and so on and so forth. Well, when you're not being held as collateral in a long chain of collateral, then you now are an entity unto yourself. That goes for the soldiers in the military, and that also goes for you as a citizen, and that goes for the military itself. The United States military is not a government entity. It has been separate, a separate section of the world government for a very long time. Now, are they going to listen to the 9 cliff walkers? Go ahead. We don't care. We have our own military now as humanity. We don't need you anymore. But they are an entity unto themselves right now with currently no government support to pay them. It's like hiring a private security company to protect you. So that's one entity that's an island unto itself. Same thing goes for all intelligence agencies. It was the same. If you work there, you're in a collateral pool. And when all the agencies worldwide entered into another collateral pool for another port, and until eventually you got to Enki, so they are now an island unto themselves. And this is every country. It's not just the U.S. I'm just using the United States as an example here. Next, the Treasury is also on an island unto itself now. It's not leveraged about 7 or 8 times before you get to the actual currency provider anymore. So they're just there. Same thing with the Department of Justices worldwide. They used to be all underneath the ICC, the International Court, and then it would go from there on up to other parties, about 5 or 6 more layers up. Several different sectors of collateral pools. So they are also on an island unto themselves. The United Nations no longer is responsible for the sovereignty of each nation anymore. That was another collateral pool. So the governments collateralized all its citizens. Every government was then recollateralized by the United Nations, and then on up to the families, and then on up to the cousins and the parents and whoever your owner was in your upline. Mm-hmm. Yep, and then eventually you probably landed with an anti-source during the Dark Age as an ownership. So as you can see, that power and control structure and monetary lender of choice, Omega, is no longer the prominent factor here in the world. And that has changed. But that doesn't prevent people from talking to people, even if it's not on the recognized line that they would normally call in on. And I use that term for a reason. So are the governments going to fall? At this point, based on the archivist's assessment of having face-to-face talks with pretty much every government in the world, it looks like the answer to that is yes. They feel the same way about the United States military and GCHQ at this point. They feel that there is no hope of them turning around. We have heard, which I have heard so many times now, it's like the Peter and the Wolf story. I don't even get out of bed anymore for that. But the Treasury Department said they have to give it throughout the weekend. Got to wait 3 days after the full moon now, you hear. So, and then they would be ready to go on Monday, allegedly. So what we're really seeing today is a bunch of people that were promised payment by noon Eastern. Nobody got any. Everybody's yelling at everybody. And the SSP is still continuing to try to find a way to fix it. By 3, guys, by 3, by 8, by 9, by Saturday, maybe Sunday, no later than Monday for sure. And then next Monday, it'll be no later than Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as they try to achieve world domination with no hope of achieving world domination, even if they had the money and paid.
Right.
So any good strategist can see that. And irrespective of being a good strategist, I've actually had experience in this realm. Always remain useful, they say. Okay, well, they spent all that money in 1 year. That's how they figure they'll do it. Always remain useful. So you just give them little bits at a time, and then they're going to have to come back to you, and eventually they'll listen to you. Wrong. I did that too. And no matter how much money, little tiny 5 billion here, a few hundred, 100 billion there, no one continues to bother to, to pretend that I even exist. So been there, done that. It's proven. You can look it up. Secret space program, but I'm sorry, your operatives or whoever's doing in the strategy section. I don't know if you're not white, you're not right guy, or it's the let's just infect them all with something, guy, or it's the, I'm not sure which one of you 9 is in charge of this whole strategy, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's a flawed model. And further to that effect, there are already beings that are in charge of the realms. And they're not in charge like they own them or anything. They are just there on behalf of Source, protectors of the realms. That's who they are. And then there's a council of them that all go back, and they're all of the light now because we are in the light age. And if you want to try to unseat one of those beings, I wish you all the luck in the world. I really, really do. Because now you're kind of fighting against God and stuff, and that's probably a no-win situation there, I can say with 100% certainty. So that also was a flawed model. I don't know if they thought because I knew about this structure that I was in control of it all or something, but no, I'm not. And I'm not trying to take control of all the realms. That's not my job.
Right.
That is not my job. There are other beings for that.
So can you share with us who some of those other beings are? Are there any names or anyone we would recognize that are now?
You have Raguel, which is one of the angels. You're familiar with that name. That would be 1, 2, and 3 now. You also have, that's someone I know well. And then you have other ones like Michael, you have Raphael, and these are all English words that we use to describe something whose real name is in a frequency in a light language. So, but as you go further up, some of them are names you know, some of them are names you don't know, and some of them you would have a really hard time pronouncing and probably think I was crazy if I said them on this. So I would say they're all light, that I know for sure. There is a dual, but now it's that party, whoever that party is, and source directly. So that is the co-creation there. There is no Archangel Raphael and Raphael as an example. And it's definitely not, Shadow Military Corporation or any of those people. So no. So that's about the situation as we are worldwide. I do not know. I actually put in a message to the archivist to see if I could find out what their estimated time frame was for the fall of governments, and if they see, what their opinion is. Because remember, it's just opinion here.
Yeah.
How long can they dangle those carrots?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what about China? How is China looking right now?
Markets are doing the same.
Okay.
They're still down. They might go up a little hair or something, 0.01 or something, 0.2, but they don't go up, a percentage point or anything significant, and then they drop back down. So they're teetering. I have not heard anything else about the foreign ownership type thing. I have not asked, actually, even in the last 48 hours about that to see where they're at with that. U.S. government, like I said, now you're looking at more than one entity and when each entity will fall. So it's the Department of Justice is one entity unto itself, and that's worldwide. That's every justice department in every country. Then you have the political sector in every country. You have the media control sector in every country. And you have the militaries that are separate and the agencies that are separate. So those are kind of your free agents predominantly. As it relates to like Department of Transportation and those types of things, you can kind of pretty much lump them into government. The financial sector, the treasuries of every country in the world are now free agents unto themselves. So are central banks. So you can choose to do something different. Will they? I doubt it. Meaning we could repurpose the Treasury to do something completely different. And they'd still get paid for it. They'd still get money for it. Do they want to do that? Are they still under the impression that they're part of the U.S. government? They know they're not. Are they going to keep that illusion alive? I don't know. But I'm not hopeful here in any way. I know the Federal Reserve has been in some serious meetings for the last couple of days, trying to figure out what they're going to do. They have also been told that they would be getting money. Of course, they always blow us off right before a full moon. We don't need you guys. We don't need you guys. We got this. We got the money. It's all going to happen now. That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's fine. I think I'm starting to believe that these are all non-repairable humans. I mean, even the SSP. I mean, I cannot, even if you weren't going against me as your enemy, I would still look at you like, where are you going? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like if you've ever been in the military or in a battle type situation. It's, sometimes people that get into let's just say a situation they find very unnerving or scary. and then they tend to like, they run around slapping themselves in the head, shooting their gun off into the air, freaking out, just like, we're never going to get out of here. We're never going to get out of here. There are those people that do that, not saying everybody does, and they do try to break them when you're in the military of that kind of a reaction to things. But if you've ever seen that person, that's what they all look like. They're all running around like crazy people without a plan. There's other people that are sitting over here going, be good if you had a plan, but they're the 9, so you never know. Anything is possible when you are one of the 9, and you have those hood things like on the website. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the ball, they were all standing around a ball of something.
Yeah. Maybe they think they're going to get one of those. You remember I keep telling you about balls and spinning ball machines and all that? Maybe they're waiting for one of those.
They're going to be waiting a long time.
Yeah, they're going to be waiting a long time for one of those. Yeah. So that's about it for that side of things. On the flip side, we do have some really exciting news. There's so much going on here at United Network right now. We are on fire. We are. I know. You've been in a lot of those meetings, haven't you been, Sunny?
A lot of fun stuff, guys. Lots.
I know. It's really exciting. So the marketplace is well underway. That is a marketplace for you. It is not us selling all our stuff. It's also a resource for you, meaning books that are potential reads, both for health and wellness, all the way through to parenting and family and pregnancies. And, we have resources that we have linked in there for you so you can find them all in one place. We've taken suggestions from the Health and Wellness Consortium. It's called the Center, CHWE now, CHWE, CHWE, and some of our staff members. We have a lot of great people that are talking about new medical technologies and things that are already out there that are options for practitioners and for home use in some cases. So we have a bunch of protocols and things we're putting together, not only for health and wellness, but also, for help for new moms and all kinds of different things we have in this marketplace. And it is also a marketplace for you. We are finishing the synchronizing so you can have your own store, your own storefront. You can design it how you like. We also have the ability to put your products into a number of different categories. If you make jewelry to, household items like candles or, make soaps, so there's a bath and body section on there. So, and if we don't have a section for you, we can make one. And it doesn't take us that long. We're building it, so it's pretty easy to do. So hopefully sometime next week we can see that. I'm hoping. And I say that because I'm actually talking to myself in a good part of it because I did the sitemap myself. So, I can't work any harder and longer than I already do. So I need a few hours of sleep. I try. So that's very exciting. Now, we are talking about our new website. There's going to be a lot of differences you're going to see here when we launch the new website. We do have private community chats where you need to be a member to enter. So you need to be a subscriber to enter to talk within those chats and a few things. But as far as the overall site, it is looking beautiful. It's up and running. The second part would be the apps, which will come in one by one. Depends on which store they're going in. But we're hoping to see that next week as well. So I'm really excited about that. We are talking about and discussing also continuing on social media. Now, we might do something like maybe it's in the app for the first week and then we release last week's news the following week on social media or something like that. So we make sure that our subscribers have a benefit. But we're finding that being on social media is really, everybody really likes it. They're happy to see us out here, and they're happy to, understand that all the work that goes in here. And so, yeah, you might not see Real Talk out there. You might not see some of our other, like Real History or some of those things out there. But we're still going to maintain that social media presence, is what we're talking about. How it's done exactly, we have meetings about that over the weekend. So that's good news for all of you that are enjoying watching us on social media. But that's not all.
There's more.
There's more. You get the bamboo basket and the Ginsu night. No, I'm just kidding. Act now. No. Our social media campaign is coming together very well, meaning you're going to see us a lot more on Instagram, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You're going to see us posting videos. So when you do see us up there, up and running, which we're hoping to do in the next week or so as well, week to 10 days. When you do see us on there, be sure to follow us, because we're coming out as United Network Productions is where you'll see us. It is also where you store owners will see your own advertisements.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I know. So you'll get to see all of your wares going all over social media everywhere. Hopefully, we'll also get a TikTok shop set up and those types of things so they can buy your things in more than one place. But of course, it's your choice. You don't have to be in anywhere. Yeah. These are things that, we're doing to help you as a small business owner grow. So the social media, UNN is the guinea pig right now for social media. We even have a counter, actually. This is a really interesting thing. And I was talking to the team about it yesterday. They mentioned that we even have something that will tell us, like, don't put that word in your video because you'll get 10,000 less views.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that? That was so cool. So it will actually tell you when your advertising is good and when it's not good, so we can adjust videos, those types of things. If you've done long interviews or, for example, you're on New Earth, we can even cut up all those segments into little small 1 minute, 2 minute clips and put them on all of our social media platforms. So you're going to see us coming out in the next week or so, very loud and very proud to be UN. And very proud and very happy and grateful to be able to support all of you. We are a community. I've heard so many weird comments when I say community. I don't even know what other word to say, because no matter what I say, someone will twist it around like this is a cult and all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
But the world is one race. We are the human race. How's that? Can't deny you're not a part of the human race. I am also a part of the human race at this point in time.
So am I. So am I.
Yeah. So we all are. We all brushed our teeth this morning, hopefully, and washed our face and, got up and went to work. So we're all part of the human race. And what we're trying to do here is change the face of media. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. Thank you so much, Field Messengers. Yeah. So thank you for all you do. We are teaching the world about the world through you, and about new products, new things, new ways of using microgreens and other things. The newest series is great. We've got some really great interviews coming up to talk about different topics. We are now filling in a lot of spaces with health and wellness where we didn't have that before. So I'm excited to see those new faces and people coming through. We are definitely on fire, our whole team. There's not enough coffee in the world to send to all our team members, but we might consider doing that or something. I don't know, anything, because these guys have just been, I'll get messages from people that are in the States at 2:00 in the morning, 1:00 in the morning. Everybody's just working so hard. So I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you so much to everyone in the team for all you do. and for all you're doing for all of humanity. Not our community or not our cult or whatever people are calling it. No, 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 no. For all of humanity, because it's going to become increasingly important right now it's not just about us and our social media, it's actually yours. I noticed our field messenger reports are getting a lot of views on social media, so great job, everyone there. People seem to really like them. They're like, wow, what is this? It's like a real news thing, but it's somebody telling us about something that I'm interested in, instead of who's going to run in what primary and what state and who cares.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, but we all have to live life, you know? So I can't live the next year of my life watching who won what game and this and that. Like, I don't want to play that game. I want to play the game of life. So that's the game I'm playing. So we think we're going to make a lot of changes around here, and it's looking really good. So it's all positive for you, you know, all of humanity. I would say our followers or listeners or something, but that can be misconstrued as something. All of humanity is going to enjoy this.
We're bringing people together.
We're bringing people together. Yes. That's right. So, and I'm really excited to not be on Telegram as often. That's what I'm really excited about.
Hallelujah. You and me both.
Ping me from where now?
I told Mike this morning, I said, I'll be so happy when I can just go to the community and talk to people in our community and not worry about trolls, because no one's going to pay to go to a community to gripe, right? Like that doesn't even make sense.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, you think?
You'd be surprised. There are people that would pay to whine, moan, and complain. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe we need a 900 number. You know, we'll pick some team members that like that. Maybe they want to answer the phones. But meanwhile, they're clocking in at $1.99 a minute, you know, or something. Whine away.
Oh, my gosh.
So at least it's not a waste of time.
Yeah.
We could feed starving children with that.
That is true. Yeah, turn it into a profit for someone that can help other people. Why not?
I know, see? All right, Miss Sunny. Well, you have a wonderful weekend, and to all of you, have a wonderful weekend. I am going to get back to work here and see what our crazy guys are up to now.
Okay. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Sunny.
That wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together and help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record it and share it with us so we can help you share it with the world. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the real news.